All right, we're going to get as far as we can with validate phone, and I can walk you through my thought process. I haven't solved this in a very long time, so I'm going to hope that this doesn't blow up royally in my face. All right, first things first, I clone it down. I check out to a new branch, John Solution India. And for just to get started, we have all of these methods over here, and we have the specs already written. So I'm just going to run the specs. How do I do that again?
Run the spec.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Python.
Just Python.
Yeah, Python.
Just Python and the name of the file?
Yeah.
Cool. Ran 8 tests and 6 failures. Well, that's kind of weird that some failed without that 2 passed already. Nice. All right, so I'm just going to go one at a time. I'm just going to comment out everything else because I only want one thing. This is run. 1 test, 1 failure. None is not true. Okay. So this first test reads, when you call hash phone number with a legitimate one, you should get true, and you should also get false. So I think this testing the same thing. So none is not true, none is technically false, which is why it passes. All right, so with that, does it have a phone number? This one, based off the spec, says when I run as phone number, you should get true. When you have a phone number with a bad number, you should get false. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to jump over to Rubular, even though I know this is Ruby Regex, but it's pretty much the same thing. And I'm going to grab the other one as well. Please confirm your phone number, and then you're given a bad number. So again, it's one of those things where I kind of know the answer already, but I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, and I'm looking for just digits. So this should pass when I have 3 digits followed by a dash, followed by 3 digits, followed by a dash, followed by 3 digits. That should be what returns true or false. With that, you can see that these 3 are not 3 digits followed by 3 digits because those are 3 X's followed by 3 X's. So I'm looking down over here, and I say to myself, okay, I know \D. There's a few key ones that I kind of memorize. \D for digits, \D for any non-digit. So I'm looking for any digit. I know that I need 3, 3, and 4. So I need exactly 3 of 3, followed by a dash, followed by another 3, followed by a dash, followed by another 4. I'm looking for \D, 3 numbers in a row, followed by a dash, followed by 3 numbers in a row, followed by a dash, followed by 4 numbers in a row. It'll only match the first one, and not the second one, or some variation of that. So I'm looking for number, followed by some sort of delimiter, number, some sort of delimiter. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. So this one works right now because I've hard-coded it based off the test. So if I just wanted the test to pass, this would be a legitimate regular expression to pass in. Let's just get this to work first. So I'm just going to take this and throw it inside of here. I know I'm going to need to import regular expressions. It's built into our Python library, and I have no idea what to do now. I just know this is my regular expression.
I would initialize it in a variable.
Okay, maybe regex,
yes.
Good regex equals this.
And then you have already, and so what I would
match.
No, put RE right before the after the equal. Yeah.
Like that?
RE.match. And then put the parentheses right, and then put a little R. Yeah, and then close the parentheses. So
like this or at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And that will return its matches.
Maybe. Let's find out. Nope. Still got 2 errors.
We got to return it.
Return good regex?
Yep.
So it's not print. Print only prints out the console, but you want to return in order to pass specs. Still got 2 things. I'm still missing something. So this is magic to me. I don't know how you got to match, so I'm just going to Google it. Go ahead.
You
Oh, I did.
I did it the same
I
way.
did. Yeah, I think you got to pass the parameter though.
You do need to pass a parameter.
Oh, the input string. Sorry.
I don't know what any of this is. Python, regex, match, example.
You need to do regex equals read.
Okay.
You read in the bottom.
Cool. All right, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to import the RE at the very top because it's built in. I'm going to see if it starts with B and ends with Spain. Here's the text, re.search, and then some sort of regex versus the text. There is a find all, search, returns a match object if there's anything there. What other things are there? Sets, find all. So there's a whole bunch. We could use find all. We could use search. We could use match. But I believe you still need to pass in
The
input string first.
No, you put it
no,
in
sorry,
seconds, comma.
There you go. There you
No,
go.
no, yeah, comma, input string.
Okay, and I don't need, I can actually just do return. Let's see if this one runs. Two tests, one of those failed. None is not true.
One of them is supposed to fail. I know, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because it's a Boolean, you need to put it.
False is not true. Uh-oh. Did I blow something up? Maybe is this supposed to be double quotes?
No, you're good.
It's the match return.
Yeah. Replace match with search.
I got it.
I got search.
Is it dashed on the search? The search?
It is. There's a dash right over here.
What is match?
Replace
Try
match.
keeping the same code, but use search instead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Replace match with search. There we go.
Yeah. So one thing you have to understand is that when we use match, not on here. When you do a match, it actually returns an object as a match object. Match objects are not necessarily true or false. So if I looked over here a little bit earlier, we have a search that will return a match object. The search will return a match object if there's a match. Actually, let's just see what we get back. I want to put a stopping point inside of my code here just to see what happens. Does anybody know how to put like a debugging statement in? Have we done that yet?
Oh, like at the end, before, are you talking about going to run the debugger?
Well, actually, I haven't taught it yet, so the answer is no. I'm going to put something called embed. Embed is what's called is part of a library from IPython. So from IPython, import embed. So there's a library called IPython. Inside of there's something called embed, which is kind of nice. Embed basically stops your code from running at this particular point. So when I run the test here, it'll stop right here on line 5. And I have access to take a look at what's input string. All right, please confirm your phone number, XXX, okay? What do I get when I just run this? Interesting. A equals that, A, nothing. So if I get something back, then I return true, otherwise I get false. So the search doesn't actually return me a match object, so it's false, and that's why this one blows up. When I exit here and I go through the second test, input string is different. It's the one with an actual number in it, so when I run this here, I get an actual match object, so there's something there. So when I run re.search, I actually get a full match object if something matches up. And since that is the value, there's a value there, it actually evaluates the truth. So if there's something there that's returned from the search, return true. Otherwise, when there's nothing there, like we saw a little bit earlier, it returns false. So embed is a powerful little tool, so we can just throw that in.
I think if you just else return none, I think it'll work. Oh, okay.
Again, 1,000 ways to do the same thing. This one passes, so we're just going to move on. All right, so I'm going to uncomment the next test, get phone number, and get phone number none. So these are 2 more tests that I already wrote. Red. So I failed. I have 1 failure. I don't know why that is. It's because the none thing here. So when you call get phone number with a good phone number, you should get the phone number. So please don't share this, something, 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 dash, something, 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 dash this. So I will actually get the phone number rather than true or false. This one here returns none because I can't get a phone number from here. So I want to get something. I saw this a little bit earlier with the match. Where's the match? It looks like I can just do search, and then if it returns me an object, I can return just the match attribute on there. Otherwise, I return none. I'm going to just copy this, throw it over here, and I'm going to do what Ryan said. I'm just going to use if has phone number. If has phone number of input string, I'm going to return, I think it's this whole thing, dot match. Else, return none. I believe this should run, so let's find out. Oh man, RE, the match object has no attribute called match. Maybe it's a method called match. Oh man, RE.match has no, okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna throw an embed and just see what I get back from here and how I can use that match object that's in there.
Maybe do match like at on
Let's take a look at input string. All right, I want to get just this over here, so I'm going to run this bit of code. I'm going to say a equals underscore, so now I have this whole thing here. So if I do a.match, I don't get anything, but it's right there. I don't know how to get to it.
You already have that.
Can you make it a separate variable?
Yeah.
So I had a lot of trouble yesterday because I was trying to do search and replace and that never ended up working. So I'm not sure you can actually use or sorry, the function.
So let's take a look. It looks like I'm just going to go over here. So I know a bunch of people have good ideas, but it's actually listed right over here. The match object has properties and methods used to retrieve information about the search and the results. So I can get the start and end positions, nah. Returns the string that was passed into the function, nah. Maybe the part of the string where there was a match, so dot group. Maybe a dot group. 999, okay. So I'm gonna just change this to dot group. Exit, it's gonna blow up, and then when I run the specs here, whoops, 4 tests passed and nothing failed. So that's the process that I'm using to try to get there, which is just, I thought I could just do dot match. I don't really know, so I looked into the documentation and it's right there. Continue on. Get all the phone numbers, Brad. Okay, and let me uncomment these. So when I run a string with a bunch of phone numbers on it, then I should get an array of those things. Otherwise, I get an empty array. So if I run the tests, I get 6 tests, 2 failures, because those 2 are the ones that I just did. So get all the phone numbers, you should get all the phone numbers back. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to embed and just copy this for right now, because I know that I'm going to need some variation of this. Run the specs. The embed will, the question was, it doesn't matter where you put the embed, and it does. So once I put it here, it stops on 19. If I put it below 20, then it'll stop below 20. So just wherever you want it to stop, I stop it there. So let's see. See if I get any matches. So it looks like I have a whole bunch of, I search and it did come up, but I'm only getting the first one back. If I take a look at input string, I'm only getting the first one and I want all of them. I don't think search is the right thing for me. My thought process is to go back over here. Oh, there's a find all. Let's change it to find all and figure out what we get. I'm gonna go, hopefully this works. Just like that, we get it all back. So with that, I'm just going to say if this thing return this thing. Okay, I'm going to exit right over here, and let's take a look at input string. These are not phone numbers, so I should return a empty array. But what happens when I just do this again? I just get an empty array. So it looks like I can just do that. Because if I pass in a bunch of strings, like I see here on line 25 in the spec file, then I can get all of them. If I don't have a phone number and I just run that same thing, I'm just going to get an empty array. That find all works. So I'm going to exit out of here, run my spec one more time. I got 6 okay. We're just going to keep on trucking. This gets a little bit more challenging with the hide phone numbers, but these are the final two of hide phone numbers, just this one. When you call hide phone numbers, it hides all the phone numbers. So if I pass it in like 3 numbers dash 3 numbers dash 4 numbers, I should replace it with XXX, and then 4 numbers at the end. Literally no clue, but I can Google very efficiently. So hide phone numbers. Do you have a hint for me?
Well, yeah, I mean, usually typically work with find all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why not use the function and then modify the return? You know what I'm saying? Because we have find all numbers.
Yep.
Definition.
Yep.
So
that's one way of going about it. I don't disagree that that could be a powerful thing. So if I have find all, I'm going to grab all the numbers, and since I see this right over here, I could technically replace the first 3 digits followed by a dash with the first 3 digits and replace with a bunch of X's. That's one way of doing it. Is there another way that people did?
So the input string was a multiple of strings, even if it's not just one.
Okay.
So I took that and made it an array, and then for each string that it was passed, I did a replacement. So I had a regex.
Sure.
I replaced.
That is a variation of what we just said, but that also works.
Oh.
Yeah.
So stop talking.
No,
Yeah.
not to be mean, but yes, it is exactly the same thing that we just said. So let's try that. So we're going to first find all the input strings. Sorry, hide phone numbers. So first, we're going to say all phone numbers equals get all phone numbers with input string. And then I'm going to iterate over each one and put that into that. I'm going to iterate over each one, put a comma after it, and replace all of these with X's. So I know that there's probably some sort of replace method. The sub function. Okay. All right, so we've got something over here. I'm going to substitute every time I see a string with 9. So let's see what that looks like. How do I run this? Okay, I already ran through. So every time that there's a space, it's going to replace it with the number 9. So there's a sub function that might work quite well for us. I don't think I need this one at all. I might be able to do re.sub. I think it's 3 digits followed by a dash. 3 digits followed by a dash. Oh, this thing right here. I'm going to replace it with XXX. And maybe that's it.
That last portion.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's see if this works. We'll run the specs one more time. Set and test. Just like that, that one works. So we could have done it both of your ways, but there's also something that's built in. Nice for us. And finally, this last spec that we've got down here at the bottom, we're going to call format phone number. It takes any number and formats the phone number so that it's like this. All right, so given 10 digits, it looks like, any 10 digits from the looks of this, grab it and then format it like with dashes in between. Is there a format method?
No.
Okay.
Or use sub and then using the parentheses to group like 3 digits, and then group the next 3 digits and then 4 digits. You can, on your replace argument, you can use /1 to select the first group.
Okay.
/2 so select the second group.
Yep. Yep. I kind of got you on that one. But you just gave me the answer, which is great. But it's like, how do we get there? Besides like just knowing it. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, exactly. Python, regex, format, string. We're not on Python 2.6. How to, let's see, format.
How did you do that quick search?
Command F.
Command F.
Grouping, okay. Compile, span. This is not useful for me.
Files actually.
Compile, maybe. Regular expression, there's a pattern, string, groups. Search function. I don't need search. Matching, nope, I don't need matching. I don't need search and replace. Patterns. Grouping with parentheses. That could be a thing.
Why is it not search and replace? What is that text to be formatted?
So I don't want to replace anything with the original string. I mean, you could take the first 3 digits, search for them, and then replace it with the first 3 digits plus the dash. One way of going about it.
Well, I meant like you're searching for the dash and then you're replacing it.
I'm actually just searching for the numbers and formatting so they do have a dash.
Oh.
So one thing I could do, the super hacky way, is here's 10 digits. After the first 3, put a dash. After the next 3, put a dash. And you're done with it. So I could really super hack it, and then we're going to get into Christian's method. So this is my way of doing it. So if I'm going to, I think we can just sub it real quick. Going to get all phone numbers first. So this is an example of one out. Hold on. Input string, all numbers, equals that. Output equals this. Is it a string? It is a string. And then basically it is numbers 0, 2, dash, number. I think it's something like this, but this is a bad way of going about it, which was I get all the phone numbers, I create an output string, iterate over every single one of them. Since we got all 10 digits, we could format it so that we just take the first 3 numbers, put a dash, then the next 3 numbers, put a dash, and then take the last 4 numbers. Output it out there and then remove the last comma in this case. This might not work because of the all phone numbers is looking for digits in a specific way, but this is one way you can hack it. But the other way Christian put it was, what are the things I should be looking for?
Use re.sub again.
Okay, like this thing?
Yes. And so we want to group the things that we want to move around the format, right? So the first 3-digit selection would be our first group. We put parentheses around that, like /D3, and that's going to like designate that as the first group. And then we want to select the next 3 digits and 4 digits. And in between those, we want to select, we want to account for any sort of scenario. So we want, like, I used any non-alphanumeric character, so I used /W for one example.
Okay, so
So then you can put a question mark.
yeah, that's the spot.
Yeah.
No, they don't have it. In one of the test cases, there was a number.
Yeah, he's right. So keep it up.
Okay, and then I repeat that in between the 3 or 4 digit spot. Oh, you did that?
Yep.
And then, so in there, I erase the vexels. And in quotations, I would put like /1. It was really hard to find this information. Dash. So that's like your first group, inserting a dash. And
Do it.
you can just return that.
Let's find out. So I'm stuck inside of here right now. Let's take a look at input string. I have all of these things, all these numbers. So the way that this one works is that we are grouping things that match. So what's happening here is I want to select and hold onto, that's these parentheses here. I want to select and hold onto the first 3 digits. That's going to be group number 1. Then I'm going to have any I think it's non-digit character, or non-word character. There could be 0 or 1 of a, that's the question mark, 0 or more, 0 or 1 of a /W character. In our case, this one doesn't have anything, this one has a dot, this one has a dash. Then the next group of 3, that's going to be saved as group 2. And then any non-W, whatever the /W value is, 0 or 1 of a, and then /D4. Now, when you have these parentheses here, you're capturing 3 different groups. So if I added a 4th group over here, like /D of any number, this whatever is captured here, if there was like another number that came afterwards, that would be saved into group number 4. /1 returns you this first thing here. /2 returns you the second one. /3 returns you the 4th group. So the way that I'm going to substitute it is I'm going to do /1, group 1, followed by a dash, number 2, then number 3, compared to the original input string. When you run it, this one doesn't work because I don't have a return. Okay, so we have a bunch of garbage. Let's see. So we expect this to equal that. I get, did I forget like an R or something like that? Here you go. So to learn more about that, Python, Regex, group example. Or you can just do groups. Let's find out. Let's see if that one works. Let's see, any 10 digits. So I'm going to just do match.
Some engines have
Where's the match? What is the find all?
No,
one Regex string.
search.
Nope. Playing around with a few things. Yeah, so this is our Regex using the phone numbers. Up to you. We can plow through and try stock picker, but I'm going to stop it.
I'm done.
Okay. Let's try stock picker then. Let me exit out of here. CD at one level, remove, validate all. All right, I have not solved stock picker before, so I will need help, and a little nervous because it's a hard problem. Let's find out. Hold it down. Stock.
Yeah.
All right, first things first. I have all of these tests over here. So 2 files, one of them here, one of them here. Let's just keep it as driver code for right now. We'll change it into unit test if we have time. So essentially, the way that I'm walking through this is whenever I approach a problem I don't know, I just try to solve it in my head first. Because there's no amount of code that's going to help you if you don't know how to solve it by yourself. So as a human being, like, what is the thought process that my brain goes through in order to recognize that 3 and 15 are the numbers that in question? Like one indexes 1 and 4. Well, first things first, I always go to find, I can just comment these out because I don't need them right now. I'm trying to find the smallest number and the largest number. So I find the first instance of the smallest number. Basically, I'm looking through all of this. I try to find the smallest number, and then I find the largest number that follows after that. So in our case, it's 1 and 10, and I know that the difference between that one is 9. All right, so I keep track of 1 and 10, and then I have 9. Then I basically find the next smallest number, which is 3, and I find the largest number that follows, which is 15, and then I get to 12. So I know that this one is bigger than these two right over here. And then essentially, I try to I repeat the process until I reach the very beginning. That's my initial thought process. So let's try to translate them. I'm just going to grab this here and throw it at the bottom. Okay, write a method called picker, which takes in prices, a list of prices. All right, first things first, I'm going to find the smallest number in prices. Save as smallest number. Find the largest number in everything to the right of smallest number. Save as, I don't know, small array, I don't know. Save as rest of array. That makes sense. So I have picker, takes in prices, I find the smallest number, and I take the largest number in everything to the right. So in our case here, it's just 10. And save the difference as current largest difference. Save the smallest, save the smallest number and largest number in an array. So my thought process is probably like currently it's 10, and the value of that is going to be 1 and is that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 7 and 8. So that's like the data structure I'm thinking of, because I need to keep track of 3 things. One of them is the largest difference that I found so far. Then it's the smallest number, and then the largest number index for the original. And then I'm going to basically repeat. Yeah, you could just repeat this. Basically repeat for all numbers. Find the largest key in the thing found on line 11 on 13 and return its value. That's one way of doing it. This is called a brute force solution. I'm just forcing it to work until it does what I expect. So does my thought process kind of make sense to people? Again, without going through this here, I basically find the smallest number I can, 1, and find the largest number of the remainder, which is 10. I get to 9. So my first time through would be 9 goes to 7 and 8. This is my mistake. All right. Then the next time through, I find the next smallest number, which is 3, and I take the rest of this array and find the largest number, which is 15. So I now know it's 12. It's 12 going to 1 and 4. Then I find the next smallest number, which is 6. 6, and then I look over here, and then I have 9 going to 2 and 4, and then I just kind of keep repeating until I am finished. It's one way of doing it. You don't actually need to add another key if it's larger. You can just replace the whole key with the key in the value pair so that you don't have to keep track and iterate at the end. Is this the largest one? Is this the largest one? Is this the largest one? You just know that this is the largest one. All right, so we're going to attempt this. I think I might be wrong. So let's say we're going to take a list of prices, find the smallest number in prices. So if I have sorted array is equal to prices.copy. I don't want to alter the original because I need that later. Sorted array sort, I believe will destructively change it. Let's find out. Python a equals 351, b equals a.copy, b.sort. So b is 135 all the time, a is still 351. I know I need to keep track of the original. I want to sort this one. So I'm essentially just going to find the smallest number. So smallest number equals sorted array at 0. And then rest of array is equal to prices from prices at index smallest number to the end. And the way that I chose that one is, let's say I just want to get 3 to 5 here. Let's say I have A and I have B here, and I just want to get from 1 to basically 1 to the n, or let's say 3 to the n. This would be A of a index of 3 to n. I guess. Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually correct. So this line of code right here on line 6 is essentially saying, find the smallest number in the original from prices at that particular index. So the smallest number for us the first time is actually 1. So find the index of that smallest number, which is 1, and go until the very end. That's the quote-unquote rest of the array. I know I'm going to need some sort of loop, but for right now, I just want the smallest possible unit of work, and I'll figure out the loop later. Save the difference as the largest. Okay, so let's say for number in rest of array, current difference equals number minus smallest number. I know that I'm going to need some sort of winner. Current largest difference, save the number. I want it to look something like this. Actually, I don't even need to keep track. I need to keep track of two different things. One of them is largest difference is equal to 0, and then output is equal to some sort of an array of numbers. So current difference is that one. If current difference is greater than largest difference, I'm going to say output is equal to I think this one will work. Prices at the index of the smallest number and the prices at the index of the current number. Let's just see if this let's just see if this returns us what this returns us for now. Broken on line 13. Okay, the syntax difference. This should return if this does what I expect, it should return me. I think this is like 7 and 8. Let's find out. 7 and 8. So I'm able to find the smallest number in the array, and then basically go here, get the remainder of the array, and kind of iterate to figure out the largest difference for one thing. Now, I think this is the guts. This is the main part of this particular algorithm. But now the question remains, how do I loop through again and again and again? So that's my next challenge. I want to go from 1 to the next number in the array to get to 15, and then to get to 6, and then to get to 8, and then 9, then 15, then 17, then 8, 10, 15, 17. I want to repeat this over and over again. So this is where the main meat of the loop comes in. I could have a loop that says start with the lowest number in sorted array and then move up, then repeat that over and over. That's not a bad way of going about it. So let's say for sorted number in sorted array, I probably need to keep track of the index as well. Smallest number equals sorted number, so I can replace every time that I see smallest number with sorted number, because I'm iterating from the beginning to the end. So goodbye, 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 sorted number. I don't need this at all. Rest of array equals prices from prices index of sorted number. And inside of here for number in rest of array. Oh, good God, please give me the right answer. 3 and 8. That's not the right answer. Let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh, that's not right. I don't need this, it looks like. Let's see where I went wrong. So we sorted the array, we copied it over, we sorted it. Largest difference equals 0, output equals this thing here. For sorted number in sorted array, so let's just put an embed. This is where the embed comes in handy because I just want to know what's going on. From IPython, import embed. Let's run, let's go here. All right, so let's take a look at what sorted array looks like. So it's 1, 2, this is what we expect. All right, so let's make a little comment for ourselves. Sorted array equals this here. Largest difference should equal 0, and output should equal an empty array. So that one works. Returns me 3 and 8. So for sorted number, in sorted array. Rest of array goes from prices of the index of that one all the way to the end for number in rest of array. Current difference equals number minus sorted number. So in the first time period, it's going to be 10 minus 1, 9. If current difference is greater than the largest difference, so 9 is greater than 0, output equals prices at index of sorted number. So why is it getting to...
One spot, I think you only the index of sorted array would be 2. So one of those two numbers is trying to say that's the spot where it is sorted. Actually, no, it is the output.
Repeat that.
Prices.index, sorted number to prices.index.
Number? I don't think that's accurate.
Are you changing the number?
So rest of array is the one is everything that follows afterwards in the original prices.
Yeah, that is right. So this largest difference always equals 0.
Largest difference equals 0 to begin with. That yeah, you're right. Largest difference, yeah, that's what it is. Largest difference equals current difference. That's where it was. Yep, there it is. So there's 1 and 4 right there. Let's see if this one works by running all the tests. True. Oh, whoops. Bunch of truths. Okay, so this is one way to do it. It's not great. Based off of your limited understanding of Big O notation, which we'll cover more next week. What is the Big O notation of this? N squared, which is quadratic type, which means that based on the number of inputs that you have, it takes that to the second power to go through. So it's when you have a loop within a loop. You're repeating, it's kind of like saying if I were to give you the numbers 1 through 5, and I want you to print out all the pairs, and it would be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, you're actually running that loop 25 times, which is your input squared. That's where it comes from. But we'll talk more about that next week. How do I make this better?
A lot more variables.
A lot more variables.
Have one single loop. It's amazing to finish. You can do it in one linear time.
Yep.
Much better.
Yep.
I had a question.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out the runtime of mine because I was like, do a single loop, not just a loop. It was a lot of time at brute force like you did.
Yep.
But on my second loop, instead of storing a lot of the variables, it actually always was +1 of the outer loop. So day and next day, I compared the day I'm at to the rest of the array, and the day I'm at to the rest of the array. What would be the runtime of that? Because it's not, and maybe it isn't, I don't know, but the array is shrinking, which I'm shrinking to on the inner loop.
I think it's still O then because you're just dividing it by half, but you drop the coefficients and all the small things like that.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, for the sake of time, I can probably figure this one out to be not 2 loops in a row, but it is, I've been talking for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. So let's go take lunch, and today we have a few challenges. Let's take a look at those real quick. Today's going to be a pairing day. Okay, a couple things. Let me stop.